this entire race, working his way to the front. And by slow, I mean he's working the bottom of the speedway, being real patient down there, really hard on the binders, getting in the turn, and he's making up a ton of space every lap.
So watch that battle as it continues. They work down out of turn number 4, down the front stretch. A couple of cars, we said, trying to stay on the left. And right now, the one car that is in danger is the number 1 of Stuart Friesen. Again, as Pat Ward has got to within 2 car lengths off turn number 2, and he has cleared the Route 11 car that was sitting between him and the number 1 of Stuart Friesen. Here comes the doctor holding on that second spot, as Mike said. That continues to close. That gap between the doctor and Pat Ward is now down to a couple car lengths.
3 wide on the back straightaway. Brett Hearn, Willie Decker battling for position number 6. As that goes on, there's a race for the lead out in front. Danny Johnson, he has caught Pat Ward. Ward into turn number 3. He'll have the advantage by 2 car lengths. The doctor up on the outside as they work their way off the turn. Pat Ward has it, but Danny Johnson getting quick. He's trying to take that top spot.
We'll watch them as they continue to battle. The doctor following in the tire tracks to number 42 now as they work off turn number 2. Charging down and back at 1 car length separating your leader, Pat Ward, and the doctor. Watch this line that they run over in turn number 3 and 4. 1 car hanging it way off to the outside, right in front of your leaders as they charge down the front stretch. That was number 99 of Ryan Phelps as he and Stuart Friesen try again to stay on the lead lap. Here comes the doctor inside Ward again over in turn number 2.
Yeah, doctor looking at the bottom off of corner number 2. Real strong over there, Pat Ward. He's got to hear him right there behind him. Probably not sure if it's a lap car or Danny Johnson, but as they work off the turn, Ryan Phelps, a teammate to Pat Ward, right in front of him off the turn. Danny Johnson on the rear bumper of Pat Ward as they complete lap number 155.
They work down into turn number 1 and 2. Ward down to the bottom inside of Rocket Ryan Phelps, trying to put him down a lap. Phelps is going to try to hold on. The doctor now goes to the outside. We get down into turn number 3. Ward right in the middle of the speedway. The doctor now comes down to the bottom. He'll get right back in line as they'll swing off turn number 4, charging down the front stretch. And the doctor, Danny Johnson, right now is trying to size up the number 42 of Pat Ward.
Yeah, Ward trying to get around the lap car, the 99 of Phelps. Can't do it. And every time he tucks down low, the doctor gets around. Here comes Danny again. Danny will pull even with Pat Ward into turn number 3. Ward working the top side. Danny Johnson down low. Side by side. Rub rail to rub rail. Off the turn 4. Pat Ward takes the top spot back.
Boy, Pat Ward saw that number 27 inside him and thought, man, I got to get going. And he just pounded the throttle. Turn number 4 comes down to the bottom and turn number 2 is on the back. Him and the doctor, Danny Johnson, as they work into turn number 3 and 4. Billy Decker, meanwhile, it looks like he is trying to close in on the first 2 leaders.
Yeah, Billy Decker, the more those guys duke it out up front, the more chance he has to gain some momentum and reel them in. Pat Ward still cannot get around the number 99 of Ryan Phelps. Danny Johnson, he's going to look down low this time. He was getting good runs off the top side. Ward through the middle, though. Ward holds on. Ward opens up 2 car lengths on Danny Johnson. Billy Decker, he's taking almost a straightaway advantage for Ward and Danny, he's made it about a half straightaway advantage. So Decker is closing in, though, and this time by will have 31. Let's make it 41 laps to go.
Down into turn number 1 and 2, the doctor comes to the inside. He may try to slide out and no, he's going to hold. Now he drifts out in front of the Pat Ward number 42P. The doctor, Danny Johnson, now your leader, and he will bring the field off turn number 4. Pat Ward wants to get right back to the inside. He'll have to get back in line as they come down the front stretch. And Billy Decker, Mike, you just said it. Billy Decker is now within striking distance, 3 car lengths back from the lead.
Yeah, Billy Decker making moves, and he is shaking and baking in that number 91 as he is closing in. But Danny Johnson, once he made his move on Ward, he's opened up 2 car lengths on Pat Ward. So you got to wonder if Ward's tires may be getting a little warm right now as we've run a lot of green flag laps. Haven't had a caution in quite some time as they race. Billy Decker, he has caught Andy McKetty and Jeff Rulavich for the only 2 cars between himself and his teammate Pat Ward. Backstretch of the race, nose to tail, Danny Johnson, Pat Ward, then the lap cars with Billy Decker right there in hot pursuit. 161 on the lap counter, we'll make it 162 this time. And Pat Ward looks like he's starting to close in on Danny Johnson as they come off the turn.
They'll come charging down the front stretch. Pat Ward trying to reel him in one more time. The doctor up the racetrack. Now Ward goes to the bottom. He'll come along even as they work into turn number 2 and can't get up there alongside as they go down the backstretch. Gave up a bunch of spots as they went down into turn number 3 and 4. It looks like he was going to run right to the inside and let him go.
So taking a look at the field right now here on lap number 162. Your leader is Danny Johnson. Second, is the number 42P of Pat Ward. Third, the 91 of Billy Decker. Fourth, the 19 of Tim Fuller. Fifth, Bobby Barrett. Sixth, Willie Decker. Seventh, Jimmy Phelps. Eighth, Brett Hearn. Ninth will be the 84 of Tompkins. 10th is Rick Laubach. 11th, Matt Shepard. 12th, Frankie Caprera. 13th, Stuart Friesen. 14th, Steve Payne. 15th is the 99 of Phelps. That is the last car remaining on the lead lap.
15 cars on the lead. One car way off the top of the speedway. That is Billy Decker, and he was catching those top two cars. He's going to give up a couple of spots on the field.
Yeah, Billy Decker, he took a detour up there on the outside. He was running that fine line, and he just got in there a little too hard. The car pushed, and the car got off the top side. But Decker gets it back on. He's going to lose a bunch of lap cars, not going to lose any spots, though, so he still rides in third. But Fuller now much, much closer to him as they come off of corner number 2. Bobby Barrett still there for 5th. Willie Decker is 6th, but Decker, he's going to close that gap on Barrett on the backstretch.
Boy, Danny Johnson, I think he's had enough of chasing Ryan Phelps around. That last time down into turn number 1 gave him a heck of a shot to try to move him out of the way. Now he's going to try to do the slide down on him, but Phelps is going to hold on the outside, so he'll stay on the lead lap as they go down the backstretch. Chased by the doctor. Here comes Pat Ward. Ward half a car length back as they duel into turn number 3 and 4. The doctor lets it drift up off the middle of the speedway down the front stretch. Ward trying to size him up this time as they go down into turn number 1 and 2. Ward's just going to follow him into the middle of the turn.
Yeah, Pat Ward, he can stay with Danny